Kul, Lema, how are you doing today? Yeah, I just had a couple of questions. I'll do this like a series so as to be able to give you a chance to look for the answers for me, and if possible, share with anybody who wants it. Because reading through your book, Success on Your Terms, How You Defy the Odds and Live Your Best Life. That book is really powerful. The truth is that some things I have some questions, and I believe you are the right person to answer those questions. My first question is, I think it's from page 6. It says something about, you said, take time to examine yourself in order to find understanding and strength. Sometimes we do so much to examine ourselves, we still don't understand it. We try so much and we don't understand ourselves. How long is enough for me to examine myself? How long? That's the first question.
Hey, Uncle Kul, thank you so much for supporting the book. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for being that big brother that is always there. I know that you're a great mind yourself. You're a mind that is all about success, improvement, and impacting the world. So I'm really excited about this Q&A that we're having today. In terms of your first question, I believe that self-examination is a lifelong process, because as we walk through life, new things happen, we develop, we grow, we move into different paths. Life takes us in all these different directions. So, and at each point, we get to evolve, we get to become maybe somebody different, or we realize that we need to change certain habits, or we need to adapt, or we need to treat people a certain way or handle situations a certain way. So all of that requires us to examine ourselves. And so in the book, the first chapter is Acres of Diamonds. So we start impacting anybody that picks up the book to read, to understand that they already have the gifts, the talents, the potential that is needed for them to have success on their terms. And so self-examination comes in because it first starts with you. I believe that success starts with you. Success is in you. And so when you examine yourself, then you get to a point where you understand what you bring to the table. You understand what your strengths are. You understand what your gifts are. Conventional reasoning, which most of us are aware of, is that we are often taught to examine our shortcomings or to be aware of what we are doing wrong. But I truly believe that to be successful, you first need to understand what your strengths are. And you need to understand what you are capable of doing, what you have done so far that is great, and what you're capable of doing, so that you can even further develop from that, and also you can do more of it. And also when you understand what your strengths are, then you can look back at your shortcomings or your weaknesses, or where you need to go, and be encouraged that yes, I have strengths, but I also have, some shortcomings that I'm going to work on. So that's where that examination of your strengths comes in. And how long? I think as long as it takes to do it. Today you may be in a different place, tomorrow you'll be in a different place. And so each of those places will require you to think, about yourself, examine yourself, and see what you could do better.
Second question is our success fertilizer. Gratitude is really is already with us. I think that was around page 13, that our success fertilizer gratitude is already with us. My question now, if things are not going right, I do everything that I think in my power, I'm still not understanding what is wrong. How can I find that success fertilizer gratitude? You stated that's already inside me. How can I find that success fertilizer gratitude?
I believe gratitude to be the fertilizer of success. And I believe that regardless of what we are going through in life, there is something to be grateful for. And when you're able to find something to be grateful for, it gives you a footing, it gives you a foundation or a platform in which you can develop or in which you can move forward. And regardless of where you find yourself in life, regardless of what's going on with you, regardless of the challenges that you're facing, there is something to be thankful for. It could be just the gift of life, it could be the gift of um, having a place to live, it could be the gift of having people that love you, it could be anything. So if you just shift your mind away from all the difficult things or all the hardships that you're facing, and you begin to think about what has gone right, and also you begin to be thankful for that, then you'll find it easier to move forward. And so that gratitude is already, that ability to be grateful is already in us. And all of us have to, sometimes you have to dig deep, sometimes you really have to think about it, to count those blessings. So it's already in you. Gratitude, each and every one of us has something to be thankful for. Even if it's just one thing, even if the world around you seems to be collapsing, there is something you can be thankful for. And once you find that thing that you can be thankful for, it will give you the nourishment, just like the fertilizers that we use on our farms. Once you find something to be thankful for, that could be the nourishment that you need to move forward, to push forward, to step up to the next level, because you actually have something that is working for you, something that is good for you, and that encourages you to move forward.
Yeah, the third question is, you stated that we should not take no person we should not take no personally. We should not take no personally. This is really like hard to understand. Let me put it this way. How can I not take no personally when I have supported a friend or a brother, a coworker in any way possible? Done everything that they need. I supported them everywhere, and now things are good for them. When I started a little business, when I started a small business, I even invite them, and they come. I give them some products for free. They like the products, but still do not buy it. They go to the Walmart or somewhere else and buy the products. But gives me the flimsy excuse of, I'll buy it next time. I like it, but how can I not take that personally? Because it hurts. You look at this person, you're the one that have supported them everywhere. You still support them, and they cannot support you. It really hurts. How can I not take that personally?
You are so right. When we support others, when we give and we feel that it's not being received the right way, or we feel that people go elsewhere to maybe purchase the products that they could have purchased from us. We feel that we don't get the support that we deserve. All of that hurts. And so I believe that your question is based off of our discussion on the fear of rejection. And so we did talk about do not take no personal. And every point that you bring up is very legit, and it I'm sure most of us have faced it, that are leaders and that are doing work in the community. So, but at the end of the day, it really boils down to our expectations. And as we talk about in the book, sometimes when you're somebody that's a leader and you're somebody that's doing a lot to help people, what I've realized is that you just need to do it for the sake of doing it. That's why we discussed this. Do not take no personal. You just, when you support people, when you empower people, when you do all the work that you're doing, do it for the sake of doing it. Do it because that's what you do. Don't do it because you expect people to react a certain way or you expect people to support you back. If, let's say, for example, you talked about products, you give them samples, so that means probably maybe you're in sales, you're growing your business. And so, in line of that, when you work with that person that way or you interact with that person that way, just do it from the mindset of doing your job. And at the end of the day, it's up to them to decide whether they want to consume your product or whether they want to go to Walmart and purchase it. And so when you look at it from that perspective, it frees you and it frees the person that you are interacting with. Because at the end of the day, people do have a choice on whether they would work with you or whether they would like your post or whether they would watch your video, regardless of what you have or of what you have done for them or what you feel that you have done for them, or regardless of your expectations. And so when we talk about do not take no personal, it is just a good approach. It's a mature approach to have as a leader, because people will do what they want to do, and it shouldn't discourage you when they make decisions that do not favor you, or when they make decisions that are not in line with what you expected. And so it's a way for you to forge forward. When you look at life that way, when you look at your work that way, look at it like, this is what I do, and they are free to make any decision. For example, I was driving on the street the other day, and there's this shopping center that's not too far from the house. So there's all the stores are on there, and I noticed that a Chick-fil-A was being constructed. And it was so interesting to me because on that same street, there is a Wendy's, there's a Burger King, and then across the street, there's a McDonald's, there is a Bojangles. They have all of these stores there. There's a Taco Bell. But guess what? Chick-fil-A is setting up their restaurant over there. And so what this teaches us is that people are going to drive through that street and they will make a choice. Am I going to Chick-fil-A? Am I going to McDonald's? Am I going to Wendy's? Am I going to Dunkin' Donuts? And they are free to make that choice. But it's just because somebody made a choice to get Chick-fil-A instead of Wendy's, that's not going to force Wendy's to shut down. So that's the perspective that we need to have as leaders, like allow people to make their choices and just do your best to be there for them to know that you've opened up shop and this is what you offer as a leader.
And also, the fourth question. I think this one was from page 32 that I had saw it. The fourth question coming from page 41. It stated that nobody is able to do the habit changes for us. Nobody. That is something that we have to do it ourselves. Why is it that sometimes we truly want to change? We read all the books necessary. We go to every seminar we could. We attend church meetings. We follow our mentors or teachers because we want the best for us. Why is that sometimes we truly want to change? We take all the steps necessary. Then on a small, say, mistake, on a small error, or something somebody does, or a friend or a brother or a sister, or just a passerby in the car, just drive past us in a certain way we want to park. It takes us back to our former habits. Why is that? Why when somebody does something, that somebody that's close to us does something, after we work so hard to change, even in a relationship, we work so hard to change, and then we think we've already arrived, then something happens, and we just fall back to our former selves. Why is that?
Thank you for that very, very important question and for the observations that you share. I think that observation is based on habits. When there are certain habits that we all want to change, and changing those habits can really be difficult. Trust me, I know that. So what you're saying and the thoughts that you're sharing are so relevant, probably to most of us that are going to watch this Q&A. When it comes to changing habits, like you say, sometimes you feel like you are progressing, sometimes you feel like, yes, you really want this change, but maybe something would happen that will pull you back, or something will happen that will take you back to the old you, or to who you used to be before you got on this change journey. So that's normal, but I would like to say that changing of habits is not easy, because when you've been a certain type of way for so long, that becomes the path that you're used to. And so when it comes to change, it requires you to step out of line. Like I always say, if you follow me and my work, I always say change requires us to step out of line. So now you're stepping out of line, and then it also requires us to change direction. And so you now have to do something that is different. And it takes work, it takes discipline to be able to adopt a new habit and to stick to that habit. So imagine a river that flows south, and then all of a sudden you're asking that river, or that river decides that it wants to flow north. You see what I'm saying? So that is difficult, and that requires discipline. And as you pointed out, and as it's in the book, only you can do it. We are the only ones that can hold ourselves accountable and say that this is where I see myself, and these are the changes that I really want to experience in my life. And also, I would like to point out that few people are able to muster that discipline to actually change their habits. But if you're able to do it, and then you'll find your life, and you'll find things around you flowing a certain way. So yes, it's change of habits is tough, but it's doable. It may also explain why few people are able to live an extraordinary life, and that's just because of the shared discipline that it takes to change certain habits so that you can actually live an extraordinary life. So go for it, work hard, do whatever it takes to change your habits and to adopt those habits that are healthy. We are all a work in progress, and we are all working hard to become better versions of ourselves.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to put this one down, and I'll give you room to give me answers, and then we'll go to. I'll get more questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your questions. I actually find them enlightening myself just having this conversation with you, big brother. I look forward to us discussing the next chapters of the